Hey, and so we're going to be doing a lesson today for our students who are really close to becoming masters of graphing with variables. You're going to watch this recorded lesson and then you're going to start working on a sheet that you're going to be completing today for a grade. So in our notes, I want you to write SOS session. SOS is something that a pilot or a sailor would use when they're in danger. So we're going to write SOS session 1. Now, you're not in danger or anything, but I want to make sure you understand. I want to make sure you understand how to graph with variables. So to avoid danger, we should say. So let's get to work here. SOS session number 1, graphing with variables. Now, there are going to be 2 variables that we're looking at today, okay? 2 variables that we're looking at today. Once again, you want to write any notes that you see here. This is recorded, so feel free to pause it if you need to. Okay, so our SOS session 1, graphing with variables, we're going to be looking at the independent variable. You'll usually see Ms. Neville write it as IV, and the dependent variable. And of course, you'll see Ms. Neville make the abbreviation DV. Remember, the independent variable is the manipulated variable. It's what you can change, okay? Another way to think of that independent variable is the independent variable is what makes everything different. It's that thing that when it's added, it's going to make everything different. Okay? The dependent variable is actually going to be the responding variable. Or in other words, it's the ending result. What happened after I added that independent variable? Okay? So when we're looking at graphing variables, I want us to draw in our notes. I want us to draw in our notes an X and Y axis. We're only doing one quadrant of the coordinate plane. We're doing quadrant 1. So when we're looking here, I want us to label this as our X axis and that vertical axis as our Y axis. We want to make sure we also include our 0, which is our point of origin. Our x-axis, this is where our independent variable will be graphed. Our independent variable will be graphed on the x-axis. Remember I said the independent variable is the manipulated variable. So the independent manipulated variable will go on the x-axis. And the y-axis, we're going to put the dependent variable. This will make more sense in a minute. Or remember, we also call this the responding variable. And a way you can remember which variable goes on which axis, first of all, x-axis, y-axis. The way we can remember which variable goes on which axis is by...
Good morning, LBC. Remember to show line pride today, perseverance, respect, integrity, dependability, and excellence. Please turn the announcement software on the LBC webpage. Lions, let's have a great day.
So it's by remembering this acronym, dry mix. The dependent responding variable will go on the y-axis. The manipulated independent variable will go on the x-axis. That'll be a really cool way for you to remember that. Okay, so when we're looking here, let's look at an experiment. In the corner, you don't have to make a huge one. Let's make a time and distance chart. Let's make a time and distance chart. All right, time on one side and distance on the other. Let's talk about me running a race, which would be hilarious, but me running a race. As time continues, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you're going to see that I should run farther, right? So my distance will be 2 meters in 1 minute. I'm pretty fast. 4 meters in 2 minutes, 6 meters in 3 minutes, and 8 meters in 4 minutes. So I can graph this. The time is what I could control. Our time is our independent variable. The dependent variable is the distance. That's what changed because of me manipulating the time. So our distance would be our dependent variable. Now let's label our X and Y axis. I'm just going to do some tick marks here and label each one of my tick marks. You should be doing this too. One, two. Okay, so we've labeled our axes. Now, each of these points is an ordered pair. So 1, 2, here, 1, 2. The ordered pair is 1, 2. I'm going to find the 1 on the x-axis and the 2 on the y-axis and plot my point. The next one, 2, 4. 2 on the x-axis, 4 on the y-axis. You see what we're doing there? Let's go ahead and finish plotting our points. 3, 6, 3 on our x-axis. Let me write that down so you'll know where I got it from. 3 on our x-axis, 6 on our y-axis, and then 4, 8. Okay, and then we can draw, I'm going to try to make it as straight as possible. Okay, so then we're going to draw our line there, and we see it's a straight line going up. Anytime we see a line rising from the bottom up, it's doing the Drake song, started from the bottom, now we're here. When we see that happening, what we can tell is a constant increase. Remember, increase means to go up. So in other words, the longer Miss Neville runs, the farther she will travel. The longer Miss Neville runs, as time increases, distance increases. So here's our mini lesson. Please go ahead and get started working on your identifying variable sheet. If you have any questions, you're going to flip your cup to red and Miss Neville will come over to you as soon as she can.